Hi, and welcome back to the Womenemies Podcast. And this season, and my real deep dive is into, of course, women, how we're enemies to ourselves, but specifically mothers. And as I've said many times, motherhood cracks you wide open um, into seeing how ways we weren't raised, how we wanted to be raised, we see the hypocrisy of how we're telling our children to do certain things, eat, sleep, um, take care of themselves, take care of their emotions, and we're doing the exact opposite. We're not sleeping, we're prioritizing others over ourselves, we're not listening to our body, and so many more examples. And we're just in this constant autopilot of going, 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 and assuming all the responsibility. This podcast, my work, my coaching, my speaking, my working with companies is to really educate on the value that mothers do. And so we can make a better working environment in the home and outside the home. As you'll know, I do not say working mother ever because all mothers are working. And so when we say someone who has a job outside the home is a working mom, we're basically saying the mom at home is not working. So we don't ever use that. My goal is to educate everybody into the value of what mothers bring every day, the invisible labor, even the visible labor. And when we educate ourselves on that, then we can change the language we use, the support we give, and the distribution of responsibilities. So let's get into it. I'm going to treat this as an employment case because not a law case, like you're going to court, but like an employment matter. Because motherhood is a full-time and then job. And I know for me personally, and a lot of the people that I work with and speak with, there is so much built up resentment that we do so much and we never get a day off and no one understands what it's like to be us. Everyone just thinks that it's an easy thing. Like, what are you talking about? It's because we have assumed everything and we haven't talked about it. So in a typical job, in a corporate job, there are duties and they're listed out. And sometimes, a lot of time, when there needs to be redistribution of those duties or a raise, we look at everything that's being done. So, what do we have to do? We have to sit down and we have to write out everything we do in a day, in a month. And I know it sounds not very fun, but I'll tell you the benefits of writing out everything you do. Is first of all, it's for you. You see how much you have done even before 11 a.m. You've worked a full-time job a lot of the time. You see how you've balanced everything. And you're not as hard on yourself when you need a 30-minute break, when you need an hour break, when you do things for yourself, because you're seeing everything that's being done. A lot of the time, for example, I will be like, I did nothing today because maybe I didn't send enough emails or I didn't outline my newest episode for the podcast or I didn't network enough. Because in my mind, that is work. That is my income source. But how about everything else? Raising son, the daily activities of getting ready in the morning, of signing up for school activities, of going to school, picking up, being present, not just a robot, but actually listening and being there for the spontaneous questions because it's there, and answering questions, having interruptions throughout the whole day from school, from utilities, um, grocery planning, all those things. That's a full-time job. So by writing things down, I first of all see how much I'm doing. And if I was in a quote unquote corporate job, if someone brought that to me and I was their boss and say I'm doing 8 hours of this work and doing this, I would be like, okay, let's redistribute or give yourself a break or cut some things out or realize what you're doing because you need to write it out. Break. I have an Excel sheet here And I just did a stream of consciousness, like everything on a given day this week. And let me read it out loud to you. Wake up 1 hour before to tidy house and prep and do my own morning routine. Prepare breakfast, wake up the child, pack a snack, wake up child again because they usually need 5 more minutes. Remind child to wear a coat or brush their teeth. Serve breakfast, do a load of laundry, get my workout stuff ready in my bag packed ready for after drop off. 5 minute reminder for the child that we have to leave. Answer any questions because I don't know about you, but my child in the 5 minutes before we have to leave will have sometimes theoretical questions like, "Mommy, what does this mean?" or "What does it feel like to die?" or "What happens if I go on a date when I'm older?" My child's young, and I have to go to the bathroom. To very specific questions like, "Mommy, I forgot to do this. Is that okay?" Something like that. But that happens there. So you have to be present and focused, not just a robot. Um, Drive to school, talk during car ride, sometimes giving them a pep talk. Call my husband travels. He's in America right now, so calling dad on the phone so our son can talk to him, drop off the child, talk to my husband, any logistics that need to be done, updates on how our child's doing, and also just basic romantic couple talk. Go to the gym or Pilates, plan the grocery list, meal plan for the week, grocery shop, make my breakfast and take vitamins, run dishwasher and do another load of laundry. At the home office, send emails, respond to emails, and social media posts and plan podcasts. Pay like this week we had to pay a school reservation seat reservation fee for the following year. Pay bills due this week. Send a budget to my husband for the next 2 to 3 weeks so that we know of everything that's coming up. Cook dinner during the day, like on my breaks between emails, cook dinner for the evening, review emails and to-do lists. I always have a long bit of to-do list, so I look through that and I make a couple that needs to be done today and tomorrow so I can plan throughout the week. And then I have a running tab on my big to-do list. Pick up child from school, talk about the day in the car, snack at home, help with homework or be available from homework because even teaching independence, you have to be available if they have a question or not. When the child is working independently, do laundry, edit a post for social media or the podcast, take child to after school activity, serve dinner and make salad because you could have cooked dinner, but you still have to prepare and serve it. Run another load of dishwasher and another load of laundry. 40 minutes to eat dinner and just decompress, talk with the son, then maybe watch, a fun little show or just talk to somebody. Start bedtime routines such as the shower, prepare a load of laundry for the next morning that you'll press go, run the dishwasher for the last time, bedtime call with husband, father of my child, free talk with son, and then sleep time. And then for me, tidying up the house, finalizing my to-do list for the morning and doing my self-care routine. Okay, that's about 47, a list of 47. And there were a lot of things that are done there have, subcategories. But just to give you an idea, this was my stream of conscience. But what I also wonder out, right, is what didn't show. Call for reminders from appointments, calls from the school. Sometimes if your son is sick or if they want to have a conversation about something, calls from utilities, if there's a newer economical way to pay for utilities, thinking about spring break and how to occupy our child, managing all the hundreds of ideas in my head for business and helping, for my business and helping mothers and realizing that I have to be focused one thing at a time. The guilt of scrolling at night instead of sleeping sometimes. Wondering if I'm doing enough, worrying about finances in the future, worrying about my son in the next grade and how he's going to acclimate, even though there's nothing to worry about. You're always thinking ahead. What to pack for the weekend trip, how to plan food for the weekend trip, and a snack to pack Sunday night to have it available for Monday. So they're just like questions that are boom, boom, boom. And I know I'm probably missing a lot there. So it was a stream of consciousness that I wanted to write. And just in the 10 minutes it took me to write that, it was like, oh, I'm not done yet. I kept on thinking, okay, it'll be a couple things. I've written about 56 things and I know there's more. That's just in a single day. The mental focus, the mental endurance, the psychological endurance to be emotionally regulated and be present for another person while doing all this. You need to clap for yourself because it's not easy. And that is a huge part of your day, and it's every single day. And guess what? On the weekends, you're still a mom. When you're sick, you're still a mom. So by writing things down, that is the first step for your own sanity to see that you're doing so much. And then when you have it in an organized fashion, and I can help with that, I work with clients. When you have an organized way of putting everything that you do down, not just one day, but for the whole week, that's when you discuss with your partner and say, this is everything I'm doing. Listen, it's not manageable. We make it look manageable because we feel like we have to. We feel like there's no other option. And so, yes, we've been doing it, but at the sacrifice of sleep, at the sacrifice of going out and being social with our friends, filling up our cup. And when you write it all down, you can't negate that. You can't say, "Oh, well, what are you doing? You've been home all day. What have you done? Here's everything that's going. Here's everything I'm continuing to do." And it will not only make you more confident in what you're saying, it will also help open the eyes to your partner of everything that's going on. And then when you show the weekly and daily duties, together you can have a conversation of this can be delegated, okay? If, for example, someone is at their home office and they work from home, meaning they're a mother and they're the CEO of the home, let's say hypothetically in a lot of societies still, the father is the one that's going to work outside of the home and they're coming home, let's say it's 6 or 7 p.m. after a long day. They're exhausted too, right? Of course, they've had a long day. They're entitled to a break, but so are you. So when they get home, they need to have a second shift too. They can have a break before their second shift, but they need to have a second shift. And for the mothers who's also worked outside of the home, let's say they get home at 5, they've been doing the second shift automatically. It's like it's assumed that they need to do it. No, 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 no. When people come home, takes 2 people to make a family. If you are living with your spouse, partner, 2 of you in the household. It's not just you. And they aren't helping you, they're sharing in responsibilities. So we'll get to the conversation part in another episode. But what I want from you and your homework is on one Excel sheet, just write Monday, write everything you did and don't combine them. Like don't say I did laundry and dishes because let me just tell you, laundry is not only running the load but folding, putting it away. That's separate. Doing the dishes, loading, unloading, hand washing as well. That's a separate part. Waking up in the middle of the night, being on call, that's a job too that I didn't even list there. So write everything you down. No matter how small you think it is, it's not small because if someone else did it that wasn't accustomed to it, they would feel it wasn't small. So write everything down that you do. And to the right, write how many hours or minutes it takes you. And at the bottom, I want you to have a column where I wrote, and it said a section, what doesn't show. And that's where I wrote in things that are just living in my brain or when I'm being interrupted or, worries or wondering if I'm doing enough. And then the second part is once I've done that for a whole week, I kind of get an idea what is done every single day and what's done a couple times a week. And then you can do that even on monthly. But I break it down weekly. But for now, write down all your tasks times responsibility and time range um, for the week and how many times it's done during the week. So your first bit of homework is just start. It can even be writing on a piece of paper everything you did every single day, every single thing, including your self-care, making yourself breakfast, doing all those things, including the work you did outside of the home as well. Put it all together and you'll have 7 days of seeing everything that you've done. Then make a different Excel sheet that just has the task times per week. So sometimes it's 7 days a week, like I just said, or sometimes 5 days a week. Then it has the responsibility. So what is included in that responsibility and whose responsibility it is. You're probably going to be listening to yourself a lot, or dads, if you're listening to this, your partner probably is going to be the one saying, I'm taking on this responsibility. And then you're going to put the time range. And that's it. That's your homework. We're going to check back in and go to the next step.